watching Gearz. All across America, in thousands of garages, carports, and backyards, there sits a project that has become hindered, stalled, or halted by the lack of time, money, or expertise by the owner. Sometimes the project is so lopsided that the owner just needs to sell it and start over. Other times, all it needs is a kickstart to get it moving in the right direction again. That's where we come in. Gearz on the Road is brought to you by American Powertrain. More Gearz, more fun.
Now, today's subject is a guy named Kurt Curtis, and we could tell by his profile that he was a sports car nut. But we didn't find out just how big of a sports car nut he was until we showed up at his house.
Hey, Kurt, whoa, Doberman.
And you got a nice place here.
Thank you.
What's this MG, man?
This is my wife's car.
Oh, really?
It's a 1954 MG TF. We went to a local car show several years ago, and she fell in love with it, and we had to have it. I'm into a little bit of everything. Anything with an engine seems to be an attraction to me, but some of the cars that are really interesting to look at from an artistic standpoint are some of these rat rods people are building. It's the thought that goes into some of those cars and seeing what they come out with.
And we also found out that his wife, Debbie, was just as nutty as he was.
When I was younger and more agile, I used to race sailboats in the Chesapeake Bay, out of Hampton Roads and out of Annapolis. I was, I don't know if you can put this on TV, but I was called a boat whore because I didn't have a boat, and those are people who call when you don't have a boat, but they need someone to crew for them, and so you just go to boat, whoever needs extra people.
Oh, that's what that means.
That's what that means.
I'm so glad she clarified that.
Needless to say, we had a great time checking out their place. That's a really big boat. And all the cool stuff they had to show us. We even checked out a few things that they didn't intend to show us.
Hey, Stacey, where are you?
Okay. Yeah, we're right behind you. We're behind.
I tried the box fans. I had a problem with those because they kept sucking the air back in.
Yeah.
So now I have some fans about yay tall that are at 2 of them. I'll put them in the garage door, drop the door, and build cardboard around them so I can get some sun.
Now, you are making sure to get sealed fan motors, right?
Ooh, no, I haven't.
Make sure that you do because of the spark. You get a bunch of fumes in here, man. Boom! Now, one of their toys was this classic MG that was beautifully restored by Kurt and Debbie just a few years ago. And since they both worked on it, both claimed that it belonged to them.
To be honest, when you talk to her, she's going to say she owns them all, but don't believe her.
It's not going to be his.
Okay. So
It's mine.
So they're all yours.
They're all mine. And they always will be all mine. He just thinks they're his.
Fortunately, we know better than to get into the middle of that. And besides, as cool as it was, the MG was not the reason we were there. The reason was that Kurt had picked up another project, an American sports car project, and he had some questions about it. Take a look. It's a 1956 Corvette that somebody had already started turning into a pro touring car. And Kurt really just wants to finish it up into something that will run with anything on the road today. Fortunately, Kurt has the tools and the space to build the car he's thinking of, so that's not going to be an issue. He's also decided to use this LS1 engine out of an '02 Camaro, so that's taken care of. However, there is one thing that he's kind of struggling with, deciding what kind of transmission to put in that car, stick or automatic. That's what we're going to try to help him with.
You look at a sports car and everybody thinks it's got to have a stick shift. And then you look as you age, you're like, well, maybe I should have an automatic, you know?
All right, not an automatic?
Oh, yeah.
Not an automatic. Yeah, not an automatic. Hey, give me 5.
It's better than a 4-speed.
You know, a lot of With everybody in agreement that a '56 Vette has got to have a stick in it, the next step was to decide which one. And fortunately, We just happen to have a TKO 5-speed and a Magnum 6-speed from American Powertrain on hand to give Kurt something to drool over. A couple of bells housings and really big balls. And also give him a good look at the size and the features of these two modern transmissions. Kind of like Christmas, huh?
Man, this is better than Christmas.
Since there is such a difference between the 5 and the 6-speed, it was important to take into consideration how Kurt was going to drive the car. There's definitely more weight. Oh, yeah. It was also important to determine how much room there was in the car and what kind of modifications would be necessary to fit each respective transmission. There's a lot of room there to put like a Tremec in.
That would be awesome.
A lot of the guys that are putting 6-speeds in them, they're finding that they don't ever use that 6th gear.
Plus, it's a bigger transmission and it'll require a lot more modifications on the tunnel work and the fiberglass.
Well, you know we need to lift this body off of here. And there's only 2 of us. Only 2 of us that don't have cameras in their hands.
That's going to be a problem.
That's all right. I know some guys right down the street. Let's give them a call and see if they'll help us out.
Hello. Oh, yeah, you need some help? All right, let me close up this hood. We're working under Toyota Land Cruiser here. We'll be your way in just a minute.
Hey, guys, how you doing, man? We need your backs, man. Come on over here.
That's good.
You know, that body's heavier than I thought.
Yeah.
There's a lot of glass in there.
Okay, right about there, I believe.
Yep, you hit this one.
Good?
A successful automotive project takes planning and organization, but instead of using an old tablet or notebook, there's the Gearz Project Planning Book. This unique workbook was designed to help you lay out a project, the parts, the tools, and the cost, so you can stay on track. It even has places to attach photos and document your progress to keep you motivated. And if you ever decide to sell the vehicle, it serves as a complete history of what's been done. If you're in the middle of an automotive project or thinking of starting one, the Gearz Project Planning Book is the best way to lay it out and make it happen.
Hey, we're back and showing you some of the adventures that we had when we made a house call to Gearz Nation member Kurt Curtis. Now, the goal here was to help him lay out the transmission in his '56 Corvette project. Now, at this point, he and his wife Debbie had decided that they definitely wanted a stick in the car, which is good. Corvette needs a stick. But the problem now is deciding how much room they have to work with, because that's a huge deciding factor in what transmission will fit in that car. Take a look. Do you have any idea what this was set up for?
I believe this was set up for an automatic.
Yeah.
I still need to get with the chassis manufacturer and figure out.
So they're still in business?
They're still in business.
Okay.
So we just got to figure out what we can do to get the proper mount, or if we have to fabricate something.
And you're using the LS engine, right?
Use the LS1.
With the body off, it's really easy to see how much room we're going to have to fit the LS engine and the 2 different transmissions into the frame. And both the 5 and the 6-speed will give the car a good combination of low-end grunt and high-speed cruising ability. But, of course, the 6-speed with its extra gear is what most people think they want at first. But that extra gear not only ups the cost, but also the weight and the size of the transmission. And that can be a problem on a small car like an early Vette, even with the aftermarket frame that Kurt got when he bought the car. And as I suspected, the larger 6-speed would definitely require modifications to the crossmember, the floor, and the transmission tunnel.
I'm almost thinking that this is going to cause too much of an issue near where my seats are in that narrow Corvette.
Yeah. And you might have to work the tunnel a little bit too. Now I know that American Powertrain has got a special shifter specifically for the Corvette. Puts it off here to the side so it'll come right up in the hole where it should.
Perfect.
And Kurt wanted to keep the floor and the tunnel all stock looking because, well, because Debbie said so.
I just like old
As long as
classic
they're red
cars.
and have a stick, right?
Right, and they're in the normal, original looking state. I don't like.
You're like, forget that.
Well, I don't care about underneath.
More power.
Yeah.
It's the outsides that count for me.
So, with the TKO 5-speed, the unanimous choice for the Curtis Corvette, that brought us to the best part of these on-the-road segments. When I got to tell Kurt that American Powertrain was not only setting him up with the transmission, but also bell housing, clutch, pressure plate, throwout bearing, drive shaft, everything he was going to need to connect that LS engine to the Corvette rear end. Yeah, but the only stipulation is he's got to keep everybody updated on Gearz Nation so we can follow along with the progress of the project. Of course, Kurt didn't have to think too hard to agree to do that.
Very cool.
Not bad, huh?
No, not at all. Oh, this will turn out cool.
How soon do you think it'll be done? Because you're going to paint it, everything here.
Going to paint it here.
Wire it, the whole deal.
Yep. I don't have to send out for anything at this point. I think I can do everything else here.
Yeah. Six months? She says 6 months.
Man.
When I first heard that someone was coming to the house to give us a treat, I was like, oh, my bathroom's finally going to get done. And then he said, no, it's for the 56. I said, oh, yay, the 56 is going to get done because it's been sitting downstairs for so long.
Man, this is like a dream come true. This is awesome. You know, this is something that you only see on TV. And now it's a reality. And I can't thank you enough for coming by.
And with that, our job there was done.
Now, quick tip. Brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs. Born to burn.
Sometimes when you're working on a project, you need to do some paint work on the body, on the suspension, or up underneath. And you definitely don't want to get overspray on your fancy wheels. But then again, you don't want to go through the hassle of taking those on and off. So a simple solution is to take a typical garbage bag and just put it around the wheel and tire. This will completely protect the wheel and tire from any kind of dust or overspray, and the extra material will protect the suspension up underneath. So now you can just spray away. The best part is, the bigger the tires you got, the bigger the bag you use. Within reason. Obviously, there are some tires that no bag is going to cover. But for an average size wheel and tire, it's a great way to protect them when you're working on a car. If you'd like to learn more tips to make your life easier in the shop, check out the tips page on the website.
When Stacey David makes house calls in the big Gearz Nation truck, it makes for some pretty special moments. But if they can't come to your garage, the next best thing to do is check out the stuff they have online to help you out. Things like DVDs, wiring and build books, apparel and fender covers are just some of the things you'll find to help you with your project or make a great gift for that certain car nut in your life. If you're ready to get out there, build something, and then go smoke the tires on it, StaceyDavid.com can help you do that.
You know, one thing we like to show on Gearz is all of the incredible opportunities that are out there in the automotive industry. Because it's not just opening your own shop or working at a dealership. No, you can be a designer or an engineer for the big three. You could be a custom painter, an aircraft mechanic. You can invent products. You can sell products. You can race cars. You can build cars. The list is virtually endless. But there was one profession that we showcased a while back that got a ton of response, and that was becoming your own tool dealer. Because people really wanted to know what the earning potential was of that and what kind of challenges you might face becoming a tool dealer. So we hooked up with 5 different guys, different ages, different backgrounds, that have all become successful tool dealers in the Massachusetts area. We decided to put their feet to the fire, asking them some of your questions and some of ours. Check it out. Our subjects are Sean, DJ, Thayer, John, and Corey. Sean runs his business with his wife and daughter.
Good job.
Making it a true family affair.
You helping Daddy and Mommy? We have been absolutely blessed with a wonderful company and a wonderful business.
And it's fun to work together.
It's fun to work together. We're running a business as a family. I come home, she's just as much a part of the business as I am. You know, I'm just the one out there selling. My wife is the glue that holds us together. We come home, the numbers, everything, it's 100% my wife too. It's not a 50-50 or whatever, it's 100% both of us, which is amazing.
Hello. Sean's background is unique because he's not a gearhead or a mechanic. Matter of fact, he did something completely different just a few years ago.
Chose to get out of police work. We had a couple of close calls where we looked at each other afterwards and said it just wasn't worth it anymore. We had an opportunity I always wanted to run my own business. My wife and I always wanted to do that. And this company, this business allows you to do that.
DJ, on the other hand, is a little older, and he's been around the tool business for a while. Not just with Cornwell, though. He also used to sell Matco and Snap-on tools. So he has a very unique perspective on the tool business and what it takes to make a living at it.
I wanted to change from Snap-on. My territory was a good distance away, and I actually sold that route. I was with Mac for 10 years, you know, very successful. David Van Geller, my current DM, I met with him, and he sold me on Cornwell, and next thing I know, I'm driving a Cornwell truck.
Thayer is a young guy that started out as a mechanic and then moved up to selling tools.
So it's a bit set. Looks like a normal set, but the unique part, if you pull them up, it's all cut in half.
Now, his unique ethnic background not only gives him an edge in certain areas,
And they also have a Torx Plus, which have a thicker spine on it, usually on Volkswagens and Audis.
but it also gives him a unique perspective about what he does.
The bag knows what to put in the bag. Yeah. And I don't know, just whatever falls in there, whatever. You know, depends what's on special, things that pick up on a good deal. I try to mix it up every week, so it's always something different. So everybody has sockets and wrenches, so you always gotta mix it up with something different. Like that bit set, for example, you saw. That's a completely different bit set.
That's a great set.
And guys love that kind of stuff.
Then there's John. Now, he also started out as a technician, so he definitely understands the nuts and bolts of the automotive world.
17 3/8 drive, 6-point.
Since John decided to become a dealer, he's found that being out on the road, selling tools, having personal interaction with customers is fun. It's not even like you're really working.
For the last 4 years, I've been doing nothing but building my business. I haven't worked. I'm building my business, building my customers, and even when I'm at work, it doesn't feel like work. I'm walking into shops, smiling with guys, talking about tools, selling beef jerky, giving people candy.
Right, Monday morning, you don't regret, right?
Yeah.
It's like, let's go.
And finally, there's Corey, who was just looking for a good, solid career.
Plus, I know you've got your favorite Ford spark plug tools for all of your money makers.
That will weather the storm of a bad economy.
Gotta love those Triton motors.
Yes. And still keep him around the industry that he loves.
It's kind of nice. You know, you get to, you end up dealing with 300 different personalities every week, and everybody's different.
If you've got a cool project and would like to show millions of other gearheads what you're working on, you need to join Gearz Nation. This is a free, interactive online community of auto enthusiasts that will allow you to learn from, share with, and encourage others, and at the same time, show off your project. There are also premium memberships available for access to special merchandise and the entire Gearz catalog. If you're into mechanical things, you're welcome on Gearz Nation. And who knows, you might even see your project on TV.
Hey, we're back, and we're taking a look at 5 guys that decided to take the plunge and go into business as a Cornwell tool dealer. Now, obviously, running your own business is not easy, but the payoff is definitely worth the struggle if you stick with it. Now, when we sat down with these guys and started popping them with your questions, we found out really quick what has made these guys successful and how you can do exactly the same thing. Take a look.
I mean, I had to learn the entire business on the fly, so that was kind of, it was unique. I mean, it was good because Cornwell gives you district managers to ride with. I got to ride with 2 different district managers. They had 2 different styles. They taught me 2 different ways, which is awesome.
It's that commitment to their dealers and the camaraderie among the other guys that made Cornwell the perfect choice for John.
They're very old school in some ways, but they're very modern in others. And actually, after my first sit-down interview with my manager about becoming a dealer, I had 0 interest to hang out with anybody or to interview with anyone else.
We all know each other. We see each other in sales meetings and stuff like that, which happen frequently. We all are right next door to each other. I mean, our territories all pretty much abut each other. I mean, and we're all very similar ages and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat because we all know each other very well. So, and like I said, the friendship thing helps. And Cornwell kind of keeps that, and they want you guys to know each other really well because we're sharing customers.
But even with the training and support systems provided, John's family did have some concerns about him becoming a tool dealer in such a shaky economy. But those were concerns he quickly put to rest.
I just found that if you just stop watching the news for 5 minutes and just work and just do your job, things all of a sudden just turned around immediately for me. I grew immediately. My first year in business was phenomenal. And that was back right in the middle of when everyone's telling me the economy's coming to an end and the world's gonna, just go black tomorrow.
And of course, you don't become a successful Cornwell dealer by selling tools alone.
If I don't walk in with beef jerky in my bag,
Don't
tell me, turn around, get the beef jerky. You know, it's that good.
I don't make any money on beef jerky. I sell beef jerky, but every time I sell a bag, I go back on the truck and I eat a bag. I think I'm addicted, actually.
Aside from the possible beef jerky addiction, these guys quickly realize that being your own boss not only puts you in control of your future, but it also allows you to pursue other things that you want to do.
I have my weekends back. That's great. I love that. Just the fact that I have 2 days to do what I want to do, have fun, go out.
But that was your self-control. And we can work 24 hours.
Oh, you could, yeah, exactly. You can work 7 days a week.
So, whether you want to work 5 days a week or a full 7, one thing's for sure. Being a highly motivated tool dealer, that can really pay off.
Like the top tier guys, I think, yeah, they can probably bring home $200,000 if they're, if they're out there working it and doing it. I don't see why they couldn't.
Even as an average dealer, say top, 25%, which isn't killing yourself. Like I'm sure all the guys here are in that stage. It's not horribly difficult to make 6 figures.
So if you're sitting there on the couch wondering what you want to do with the rest of your life, and you want to be your own boss, and you want to be in the automotive industry, you might have found your answer.
What are you working on? Brought to you by Woodward Fabrication, selling quality metalworking equipment since 1966.
Today's What Are You Working On comes from Brian Stewart from Murphys, California, and the project he is submitting belongs to his 13-year-old son, Kevin, and it's his 4-H project. Now, I know you're thinking, 4-H? What is it, a cow? Oh, man, it's not a cow. It's his rat rod welding project, and you need to check this out. You're going to love it. Remember, this is Kevin's first time working metal. He's only 13. He started with 2 riding lawnmower rear tires, and he just went from there. Here he is building the body from scratch, little T-bucket looking thing, and he's building here the frame. He's also got a little handmade engine he put together. Looks like a 4-cylinder with some slash-cut headers. He even covered his own door panels with vinyl. Now, the cool thing is, look back at this picture. Look at the table he's working on. Look at the tools he's using. Look at the chairs around. There's nothing fancy here, just basic, low-budget stuff and a great way to learn how to work metal. So, after 6 months of work, what does Kevin have? Well, he's got a really cool little T-bucket looking thing, but he's also got first place in his division and best of show at the Calaveras County Fair. That's awesome, man. So, Kevin, to recognize your project, we're going to hook you up with some stuff. First of all, we're going to give you a bench vise from Woodward Fab so you can bang on some more metal. We're also going to give you a year's subscription to 4-Wheeler Magazine. There's all kinds of good metal work going on in there. We're going to give you one of our wiring books so you can learn the ins and outs of wiring a vehicle. And we're going to set you up with one of our Sergeant Rock t-shirts because that is the perfect t-shirt for a 13-year-old boy. Now, for the rest of you guys, if you'd like to get in on this, you got to go to the website, go to Gearz Nation, and submit your project. Like we said before, we pull all the What Are You Working Ons and all the on-the-road segments right up at Gearz Nation. All right, that takes care of it for us today. You need to get out there and work on something. We'll see you next time.